I was surprised to see in the England where gold was north, one heart, two no trumps. Heart, he didn't come again on.
Yes, I have a very poor record commentating that particular problem because I thought North was going to come back with four no trumps, but both Norths came back with a double, which apparently just shows extra shape and giving partner the option of playing it there.
Yes, I had also expected 4-0. I suggested that, but he chose to double.
Well, 4-no shows extra shape, so presumably, I don't know, wouldn't you double if you had an 18 count with only 5-5? Using 4-no to show extra shape?
Well, that's what it was to my untutored mind, that double would show extra strength and four no trumps would show extra shape. But and this is now two hands from this final where a hugely shaped overcaller has backed back with a double. In both cases not particularly successfully.
Well, on that particular hand, he can't be very happy if partner leaves the double in. Still must be thinking he could have had a good shot at 5 of a minor.
Right.
Yes.
So Upmark and Nyström back in action. They were sitting out this morning. Three-way, one club. Nearly always 12-14 balanced.
Would be a raise to 2 spades for some players, but not for the Polish playing their system.
No, that's an offence in Poland. To raise with only 3 cards. The partner can check back, which he just did. 2 diamonds, a game-forcing relay, asking for cheapest information. 2 hearts, I have 4 hearts, partner. 2 spades, I have 5 spades. Do you have 3?
Well, 4 spades looks pretty boring until you take a look at the north-south hands, and suddenly comes a little bit more interesting. East has a super max, and 4 diamonds in some way communicated that fact.
2 diamonds was checked back. Sorry, East showed his hearts when he heard of 5 spades. Then he showed he had a maximum because he doesn't know how strong his partner is. He might be interested in the slam, so 4 diamonds was an accurate bid, thinking of telling partner such a lot. He told him he didn't have a club control, he did have a diamond control, and he did have good support for spades. Accurate bidding.
Kalita Novosatsky against Wang Sylvain in the other room, where Norse opened 2 hearts. We've seen that a few times. Weak with hearts, and usually a 5-card minor outside can be 5-4. So the Swedes are playing the hand in 3 no trumps by West. A contract, that's okay as well, even on a club lead. Perhaps easier to play.
Well, fortunately, Clara has a trick to spare in this 4-spade contract. The 5-0 break is probably not going to stop the over trick.
Of course, he'll be very grateful for that Jack 10 of spades. If that was King empty third, you might think that 3 no trumps was safer, but you haven't got that much in the way of extra tricks to look for in no trumps, really.
No, you would be short of tricks if East didn't have Jack 10 of spades. The Swedes lead 3rd and 5th. We saw the 2 from Uppmark.
North knows from the bidding that his partner has 5 trumps, and may be hoping that King of clubs and another will promote something, but looks like De Clara has just enough overall strength to survive such an attack. Nostrum must have been expecting to have some chance of beating 4 spades, so he wasn't pleased to hear East bidding 4 diamonds to say that he was super maxed. And now he's not fancying his chances so much on what he's seen so far.
Now if you want to watch hand records from previous sets, you can always go to the BBO archives, of course, but you would normally have to wait 24 hours to get that. If you want to do it quicker, we have another site courtesy of Ivan Callum from Switzerland, so I'll post the link in the room. So he has all sessions there as well. 1 second.
Well, I look forward to seeing that, but in fact it seems that some of the BBO archives have been put up the same day from what I can tell. I was surprised to see them because what Roland said is usually true. You have to wait till the next day.
Yep, here's the link. So crash! We lost the closed room. I have an account there, and it just went boing. Same happened to David apparently. Back, I suppose.
Oh dear, I was a young man when this hand started.
Well, Nystrom can see 2 more tricks in his own hand, but they need 1 more. Can they get it? Is there a slow club loser? No, he'll get 1 away on the Queen of Hearts. I don't think they can do anything.
I went to that site you recommended, saved it as a favorite, and then closed the window. By mistake, closing the BBO window, that's why I vanished.
Right. So did he?
But certainly they were listed out very neatly, a whole lot of sessions, so that's a very good and potentially useful new site. As you know, Tim Burke sends out hard copies of all the BBO records in Microsoft Word form to writers around the world on his mailing list. Similar very valuable service.
the score line before this board is actually 164 to 165.5. So Poland now leading by half an imp.
Start of the session, I had some kibbitzer sending me a stream of messages complaining how slow it wasn't, suggesting that they should make a limit of 7 minutes for the bidding and play of each hand. Tried to impress on him that that was totally absurd because some boards require a lot of thought and the bidding's taken ages, and the only thing you can do is to say that if they're slow by the end of the session, then if they need to assess some penalty, then they can check on the video evidence. I mean, obviously having a minute limit per board didn't require any contemplation at all. Not that I managed to persuade him.
Right. There'll be a press.
Playing a strong.
Go on.
You go.
I was just going to say there'll be a press conference in 10 minutes. A press conference you can follow on channel 14 on Triankira's website. I don't know what it's about. Maybe just the championships overall. No idea.
Yes, I was just going to remind people that North-South are playing a strong club system. So one no trump is not quite up to the normal strong no trump ranges. 14 to 16 and non-vulnerable may include good 13 counts.
Well, this is a country even I can make. They can of course hold him to 10 tricks here and gain an imp. But if Glukowski doesn't cash out, Declara will take 11 tricks. And West can't really see 6 clubs in the south hand, although he might have implied that when he bid 3 clubs. I don't know.
When the bidding starts, 1 no trump, 2 hearts. A lot of people play variations of the Lebenssoul convention where North can bid 2 no trumps to sign off in a suit. and also has various strong sequences where he can show whether he has 4 in the other major or not. Also, because there are 4 strong sequences, whether he has a heart stopper or not. Here it seems that he hasn't been able to show 5 spades and a heart stopper.
Well, there's still a chance of an imp either way. Kulkowski could gain an imp with the unlikely cash out in the red suits, but he could easily lose an ear as well.
You mean there's a squeeze for the second over trick?
No, I was just thinking if he plays a half here, there's 12 tricks, and he picks up an imp that way.
Yeah, because he could only take 11. Yeah, 6 clubs, 5 spades. Right.
Hard to find anything to talk about on this hand, that's the problem. We're reduced to talking about the over tricks.
Well, yes, it's true. Norse didn't show 5 spades, but since partner can't have 4 when he bids 3 clubs, he decided to go for no trump, even if partner has 3 spades.
Well, I don't see how West is going to play a low heart now because he's got a diamond entry. So he might as well play ace and another. Of course he has in effect force carded in... no, he's cashed the ace, I see, yes, that's right. So he's shown partner the king. No benefit whatever in leading a low heart next. Perhaps someone said it, but that was the exact fence bid at the other table.
.30 high, no fit. They get to 4 no trumps, but I don't think they'll get beyond that.
A lot of players find these hands tricky when they've got game values and a bit, and it's not always easy to find out if partner has anything extra below the game level. So as Roland mentions, well, it's not so bad when partner owns a no, rebids a no trump, because even if you think there may still be a chance of a slam on, you can bid 4 no trumps limit bid. Bit awkward, say, if he shows shape and you can't find a fit. All these people who say, oh, I was too good to bid 3 no trumps, so I showed a bit extra by bidding 4 no trumps. Well, of course that's normally going to be taken as asking for aces or key cards.
Yes, but it's sensible to bid only 3 opposite 11-13. Or 11-12 even, because he might have opened 1 no trump with 13 good. So Nos has no errand really.
There was one interesting bidding decision on what the player in the fourth suit should do after three clubs double in the first session today. And Peter Lunt did some good work scouting around, looking at all the tables to find out what they'd done. Similarly, it would be interesting to know how many pairs were able to stop in three no trumps.
Yeah. Should Declarer have gone up with the king? It's quite interesting. According to the rule of 11, East can only have one card higher than the 5 led.
Well, with so many points, he may feel that he doesn't want to give an early trick to the jack. Won't affect the play, but now that East has played the 6, that is the card that was missing by rule of 11.
Yes, the rule of 11 is the rule without exceptions.
What's that mean, Roland?
Pardon?
What do you mean it's without exception?
I mean, it's just 100% because we're talking about math, right? So it can never go wrong in that sense.
It used to always go wrong for me because I tended to come up against these people who varied their leads. They thought so little of leading 4th highest that they often led 5th highest or 3rd highest, and I was doing all the math. It never seemed to work out. So I gave up on the rule of 11.
Okay. If they play 3rd and 5th, of course you have to apply the rule of 10 and 12 instead.
It's a really strange thing, the rule of 11, because everyone regards it as a piece of magic. But every time I'm writing beginners books and they say, oh, can you put in a section on the rule of 11, you're pretty stuffed to find hands where it's actually important. People always sort of give the famous case where East can work out that Declarer's got nothing and allows partners 6 or 7 to win, but that's incredibly rare. And it's not so often that in fact the rule of 11 is helpful in practice.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much worthless. And, it certainly has more publicity than it deserves. The important thing about 4th best leads is that if your partner leads the 2, or the lowest card outstanding, then you know he's only got a 4-card suit. And of course, Declarer knows it as well.
Indeed.
Yes. Well, there are a lot of 3-no trump hands, and where the right line of play depends on whether the Declarer thinks that the lead is from a 4-card suit or a 5-card suit. If it's from a 4-card suit, he can maybe afford to knock out a stopper, let the defenders get in and cash only 3 tricks. If it's not, he can't, and may have to rely on hoping for some finesse position in the other suits. But that is another point that, to Bill's argument that the rule of 11 or 4th best leads may help declarer more than they help the other side.
So just completing that conversation before we get to this hand, this is why a lot of pairs have given up on 4th best leads or 3rds and 5ths, which tends to give the same sort of length information to both declarer and the other defender, and they switched to attitude leads, saying, well, forget the count, let me just tell you whether I think I like this suit or not. The lower the card, meaning the more I like the suit. And that has a certain value because it transmits information to partner that declarer might have known anyway. He knows whether he's in trouble in this suit or not, but your partner might not, the partner of the opening leader.
People who play attitude leads, do they ever vary their playing 3rd or 4th from a 4-card suit according to how many honours they've got up the top? Or are they in practice leading low from 5 and 3rd best from 4?
They are leading lower the stronger they are relatively to the rest of their hand they are in the suit. They don't give any count information at all, only attitude information.
Yes, but my question is, do they ever lead 4th best from 4?
Sure. If that's their best suit and they've got something in it, because it's the lowest. They like the suit. It's all about relative attitude. I mean, you might lead 4th best or low from Jack to 4 because the Jack is the only card in your hand. It's the only thing you can transmit to partner that you've got an interest in.
Here we see that 3 diamonds must have told North exactly which suits he had. When we commentate on events at a lower level, we often mention the fact that people who play systems like Gestem is one of the most frequently forgotten conventions in club play. Not here. We also discuss whether it's better to play Michaels, where the suits are not known when you've shown spades and a minor, for example, or whether it's better to allocate overcalls to show precisely what suits you've got.
Now in the other room, East opened 1 club, natural, so South had to overcall a spade, was raised to 2 and bid 4. All normal.
What if North had bid just 3 spades here? Do you think South was planning to go to 4?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. We'll need to ask Nystrom later. It does seem a little bizarre to insist on game with that South hand.
Well, we can see that Mark has taken the pressure off him with quite a modest responding hand, so if instead he'd have only just bid 3 spades, he would have had quite a modest hand, and maybe you wouldn't want to be in 4.
Yes. I mean, 3 spades might not even be on a 3-card suit. North could be 2-5-4-2 with nothing much. So I think it was a really thoughtful bid by Upmark to give game a shot when his partner bid 3 diamonds, which obviously has to be a decent hand because he's pushing the bidding up to a pretty high level.
And that's the point. Three diamonds shows a strong hand, because if he had been weaker, he would probably overcall a spade.
Alternative conventions such as Michael's do not promise a strong hand, one diamond, two diamonds, and that's because partner can play at the 2 level in a major.
I think East and West have both given wrong count, but you would only give honest count if partner needs it, and partner doesn't need it, when you're looking at ace king to 5 in the dummy. They both shown an even number of clubs, and they both have an odd number of clubs. For England, on board 1, David. Did you see that?
I saw a message, yeah, about the open team, but they've got a pretty big deficit.
Yeah, but they collected 1,000 in 3 no trumps redoubled.
Yes. Well, that double sounds like somebody trying to push them back to spades, just at a random guess on the auction. A little surprised it was only 1,000 and not 1,200. Anyway.
What can the man do? He has to set up the clubs. So can he do anything better than to continue clubs? Right. I got this from a listener. I see your volume indicator moving, but hear nothing. I asked him to exit and come back. He did that. It didn't help. Is it an overall problem? I know Bill and David can hear me, but what about our listeners? No problem. Sound is fine. Totally fine. Yep, sound okay. Sound fine for me now. Alright, so I got around 15 already. We hear you fine.
That's the 15 that can hear you. The other 3,275 can't hear you, Roland. Oh, 15 plus David and I.
And everyone listening on iPad, it's okay for them.
Well, you're on a retainer from Apple or something, are you, David?
No, I'm IBM myself. Worked for IBM 31 years.
It is suggested that this user might be on an iPad or something similar and have before Bluetooth the sound. So when the Bluetooth device is switched off, sometimes the sound doesn't come back. Yeah, but that's difficult for me to tell him if he can't hear me. By the way, I have no idea of what Bluetooth is.
It's nothing that we need to understand at our age.
All right, so strong club here. 1 diamond, 0 to 4 ZZ. I was not allowed to talk about ZZ the other day, commentating with Peter Lund. No one's interested.
Sorry, I just fell asleep there. The moment you mentioned ZZ. Oh dear.
Yeah. So ace is 3, king 2, and queen 1.
I have to admit, when I was commentating with Karen, is it Karen Allison?
Yes.
Anyway, I weakened and called it the ZZ count. You think that was dreadful of me?
Oh,
yeah.
That's the American pronunciation. You wouldn't do that, Bill. Surely.
I did. I felt terrible about it.
Oh dear. Sliding towards the abyss, Bill. And to admit that in front of so many spectators.
Yeah, I'm getting abusive texts already.
It's the same when Roland tells me that it's a Nystrom and Upmark or something. I say, not in English it isn't.
They're relaying like mad. Not asking questions. They do not count singles and queens as ZZ.
One heart is any hand with hearts or 20 plus points. Right. That's the end of my contribution to analysing it, because I've just got their convention card.
Yeah. Mere mortals would open 2 no trumps, followed by a transfer, and also will become declarer in 4 spades, and it wouldn't take very long. Well, I haven't mentioned the suit they're going to play in yet, although they have indirectly.
Well, feel free to give us a complete explanation of all these wonderful bids, Roland. We won't interrupt you, we promise.
I can't. If you have the convention card, you can't. I mean, they can't write everything there. So is this really what you want, Bill? You don't like the WBF card as it is. Do you want more information on it? Subsequent auction? Like this one?
I don't mind page 2. I think page 1 is incredibly unintuitive to read. Your eyes scan all over the place to find out basic things. My problem is with the front page. But just on a slightly related topic, there was an interesting thread today on the Bridge Winners site about how the equivalent competitions such as this, the World Championship in chess, which is broadcast online, gets apparently millions of viewers, whereas bridge only gets them in the thousands. And the poster was wondering why that was, and suggesting that one of the reasons would be auctions like this one, which very few people understand and even fewer care about. My view is that that's just an unfortunate thing that doesn't really change the fact that that's the nature of the game for them to have these auctions. What do you guys think about that general topic?
What I think about it is that I've been able to watch this Bermuda Bowl for 2 weeks and seen hardly any auctions like this. It's been really easy to follow. I don't think that's the difference between chess and bridge with regard to spectatorship. It's nothing to do with the occasional Swedish auction that takes 2 minutes longer to get to 4 spades than beginners would. At all, no. I don't agree with that. This has been a really good Bermuda Bowl to watch. I think there's been less artificial bidding than we've seen before. What do you think, Roland?
Yeah, I agree. Yes. It hasn't been a problem with very unusual methods. Quite easy to follow.
As far as the speed of play goes, that's nothing to brag about in chess, is it? They spend ages, so it must just be that there are a lot of young players who are sort of wanting to learn. Millions of young players, and maybe in some countries we don't know about, India for example. Maybe even China is big in chess now, I wouldn't know. And or maybe that they've got fantastic commentators analysing all the plays, even better than BBO bridge commentators. Anyway, next time there's a World Chess Championship, I'm going to get on that site and see what it's like to watch.
Yes, I know very little about chess, but it is timed, isn't it? They play it with clocks, so whilst it might be slow, it's controlled slow. They have to play their match within a certain time, otherwise they lose. Whereas on a few of the bridge hands, I have been off to get a cup of coffee whilst I'm waiting for them to make their decision, and it is a bit of a turn-off. I mean, you take the very first board here where Nystrom was quite reasonably pondering with his ace-9-8 fifth of spades how he might be able to beat it, and it was a really, really slow hand, which for the spectators actually had no further interest because it was clear the contract was going to make.
Well, you can't avoid that, can you? If some guy is maybe making a defence that will cost him a place, in history by winning the Bermuda Bowl, like those last boards in the semi-final when England were playing Poland, you can't expect him to hurry in a situation like that. And when it is tense in a major final and the scores are close, it is interesting when someone thinks for ages. That's fine, that's just part of the game. And nobody is going miles over in the total time taken in a whole session, because that is controlled and people can be fined victory points. So I'm happy with the way it is. If people don't like it, then they don't watch the final of the Bermuda Bowl. That's up to them. That's what it's like.
Well, we better look at this hand, but I'll just make one comment. I was in no way sort of criticising Nystrom for taking his time. You're absolutely right. He had to think it through. It was just a little boring while we waited. That was all.
No, it's a good point. The 3-no trump contracts go down. We can see all the suits are breaking, and of course declarer has to make a careful plan to guard against what bad breaks might arise. But even that is still interesting. I mean, what can you do about it? That's what you can't change the game to make it slightly better for spectators when you're going to ruin the game by doing so.
Now here, it's very, very surprising that East didn't open in the other room. Well, he might have been concerned. Well, I have King Jack X in spades on the side. Maybe it's not suited for a preempt. But come on. If you have to wait for the ideal hand, you may have to wait forever. George.
I guess he didn't like the vulnerability.
What do you mean, Bill? It's a 3-hard opening even for you. Yes, you may argue, well, I have too many losers. 2, 4, 6, 7 losers, only 6 tricks, so I can't really afford to open 3 hearts because I need 7 tricks. Okay. If you subscribe to the rule of 2 and 3, fair enough, but at least open 2 hearts. You can't pass.
Yes, I guess we can see that 3 hearts is causing a bit of a problem for North-South, as preempts are designed to do.
That's non-leaping Michaels, I think, showing diamonds on the other major.
But it sounds really strong enough for that. I would expect a better hand for the leaping Michaels. I don't know how you play it.
Well, yes. I mean, you could. You're only really worth 3 spades.
Well, if you give South the ace of diamonds also, well, fair enough. But with that hand, I wouldn't bid for diamonds. 3 spades, yes.
No. Well, it also suffers from the problem that you've got a good 6-card major and may not want to play in diamonds.
Well,
that gives him 11 tricks.
Well, wait a second. Well, he has to take the finesse, obviously. And you're right, and then we're up to 11. But a heart up will give him his 12th.
Yes, but will he play it that way? He needs either, at the simple level, he needs either the King of Diamonds on side or the Ace of Hearts on side. And the opening bid suggests that the Ace of Hearts is offside. So will he discard 2 hearts on the spades and hope that East has the King of Diamonds? But East won't have the King of Diamonds because the spade finesse is about to work.
Well, exactly. When he sees the King of Spades on side, he's not going to play East for the King of Diamonds as well.
That would be a pretty strange preempt. 2 outside kings.
would.
We've seen lots of players leading aces against slams when they've got a long suit. Quite rightly, their partner might have a singleton. So that's another thing to bear in mind, that it might be the ace of hearts if he had it. So maybe, not that it's easy, declarer should play for the ace of hearts on side and throw diamonds away.
It is a very speculative lead, I have to say. I wouldn't have found it. I don't
You're
have
probably proud of that.
I don't have the imagination. I mean, knowing that dummy has spades.
Well, he's trying to put off declarer from taking the finesse. He's expecting ace-queen to be over him.
The other option, if he thinks all the cards are offside, in other words, west with the king of diamonds and east with the ace of hearts, is for him to play for the diamond king to be short. So pitch the hearts, play 100 clubs, and then play ace of diamonds, diamond, and ducking. I mean, it's a possibility, isn't it?
It is. Should West have doubled 6 clubs for a diamond lead? I don't think so.
No.
Well, this is the sort of hand where we don't mind sitting here for ages. It's just so exciting and has got such potential. If the whole thing was over in 10 seconds and board 7 came up, we wouldn't have the time to enjoy it.
But he doesn't stand a chance if he doesn't finesse now, does he? He might have seen a line. What could that be? I just don't understand this. This is just accepting at least one down, isn't it?
The fact that he wouldn't finesse it when in fact it was a free finesse just shows what a good lead East had made, maybe, that people are not going to believe that he's led away from the king, whatever, and it may stop declare.
You had to find a line to make it by going up with the ace. Can you see one?
Yes, I had realised that. I'm saying though that that's part of Gavrice's calculation, that declare is almost impossible, he's going to finesse whatever, and that's almost been proved by the fact that he's given himself no chance because he simply couldn't believe that that lead was from the king.
Okay, he can still find the king of diamonds singleton. That's very unlikely.
Such a pity for us that he didn't finesse, because then we would have seen what he decided to throw from his hand.
Yeah, it looked like 50 points. He was trying to save 50 points. You know, if he's going to kick himself, he thought he was doing a sensible thing, saving 50 or maybe even 2 extra under tricks. And yet, oh my God, I could have made it.
Well, it's not believable that he would do it to save 50.
Well, I think he did, David. He refused the spade finesse because, of course, if it loses, he doesn't get the ace of spades either, potentially. Loses and a heart comes through, or a club comes through. Wow. He's going to kick himself. This I can say with confidence.
He won't lose it, because he'll just rough the king of spades. Remember, he was void, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah. But what I mean is that he got no entry to the ace of spades. So if he plays the queen of spades and it loses to the king and he roughs it, he never makes his ace of spades, potentially. So he goes extra tricky.
7 clubs down 3, 6 clubs down 2, 2 imps to England. Wonderful.
If only they could have just lost 2 imps on the other, on the Grand Slams that they bid with an ace missing.
Yeah. Yes, the women and the seniors will finish today. And we'll come back tomorrow for another 32 boards in the Bermuda Bow Final. East-West may drive this to game here. 4 hearts maybe. And that's too high. They will. This is the game forcing relay again. West will show his hearts and East will bid 4. And North just has a normal singleton lead here, the Jack of Diamonds.
How worrying for Swedish supporters that he hasn't led it yet. Surely, that's so obvious. Yes, well done.
Yep, can go 2 down. Ace of Diamonds, 7 of Diamonds as a suit preference signal for spades. And then another diamond. That will promote the King of Hearts. Here we have the 7 of Diamonds. Partner, I want the spade back, not a club. It went very fast.
Now he can ruff with the 8 forcing the ace, as we can see, but nothing better to play, is that?
Right. They did reach 3-0 in the other room, but that didn't make either. Should it have?
No, I don't think so. The problem is the 7 of Diamonds. It was used as suit preference here, but it was also the setting trick at the other table. The diamond was led. The Jack of Diamonds was led. The Queen won. And unfortunately, South's diamonds were all good.
So remember not to signal with the 7.
Not when it's the setting trick, or the start of the setting tricks. Jack of Diamonds ducked. Fascinating.
That will work.
So they missed the trump promotion, and four hearts went just one down.
I wonder if ducking the jack of diamonds does work.
What do you suggest? Jack of diamonds, club switch?
Yeah, Gibb doesn't think so.
Yes, on a club switch I think Declarer has to, having squandered the queen of diamonds, I think he's got to squander the queen of clubs. So he's got to overtake the queen of clubs with the ace to take the heart finesse. When that works, he can finally play the spades.
Yeah, funny hand.
He ends up
That's right.
taking 4 spades, 4 hearts and 1 club. That's a bit of a trick hand, isn't it?
Yeah, well spotted anyway. That's entertaining.
Right.
And there's another red 7 that's useful. The 7 of hearts is the entry to the spades.
Now 6 clubs by north here is a make. Unfortunately, South opens 1 club, strong club, and it goes down on a heart lead.
But a heart lead isn't easy to find. You remember the earlier hand, Roland, where North bid 3 diamonds when he had ace, king, queen, 10 to 6 spades, so maybe 2 hearts shows clubs here.
Yes, West won't find a heart lead, unless East doubles, of course. He'll lead the king of spades. So, in practice, 6 clubs will make from the South hand as well. But can they get there?
Fair enough for Gavrice to bid 2 spades, but he did have a chance to double 2 hearts. But anyway, he doesn't know that a heart lead is good necessarily. No reason for the ace of hearts to be in dummy just because he's got a club suit.
Well, first step for North-South is to avoid 3 no trumps, which is a contract that's under some degree of pressure. And I think double dummy would probably go down.
Well, if
Assuming 2 hearts does show clubs, then South is probably assuming partner's likely to have the ace of clubs, so add the clubs and have that side suit of diamonds is carrying him pretty high, and that's only 4 points in partner's hand.
it must have shown clubs when Nystrom jumps to 4. 6 clubs bid in the other room, as you see. And obviously West didn't find the heart lead.
No, king of spades lead.
Yes, just normal bridge. key card, 1430. But here they had no choice after the one club opening, and it's just you know, the luck of the draw really. Who should be declarer in 6 clubs depends on who has the king of hearts.
South did bid Blackwood though, so maybe that might be a slight put off for West leading the king of spades.
Well, the spectator is convinced he will lead a hearts. Well, it's quiet now.
Polish spectator, Roland?
No, a Danish spectator, a friend of mine, playing for Denmark seniors.
Okay.
Well, he was looking for a brownie point, and no one was going to give him one for predicting the king of spades lead, so he had no choice.
Yes, it's true that Kulikowski knows that the spade lead is likely futile. His partner's supported spades. They're not going to have 2 spade tricks or a spade trick that they can develop. But the king of spades lead is a very safe passive lead. I mean, the heart lead could just blow the heart suit. It could blow the setting trick by giving some sort of finesse position away.
Well, if South has ace-10 doubleton of hearts, for example.
Yeah, and the diamonds aren't quite so strong.
Of course, you could argue, well, declarer is prepared for a spade lead. Blackwood, 6 clubs. Maybe I should find something else. But it's all double dummy, really.
You see that spectators are saying that Gabri should have doubled 2 hearts. It's not right, because I mean we've seen hands where people have made such doubles, and declarer's got the ace-queen, and because he knows the king's on side, he can bid accordingly and get to a slam he wouldn't otherwise have bid. We once saw a grand slam being bid that was on a finesse, but because of this double, declarer knew the finesse was on side. It's all right doubling something that shows a heart suit, or maybe, or a heart control, but if it's just artificial, king 10, how do you know that's a good suit to be led?
Yes, totally agree. Not to mention that he wanted to support the spades. Maybe this was a hand where East-West could compete successfully in spades. And if he stops the double 2 hearts, then he's lost the chance to support his partner's spades.
A heart attack. Just as well we didn't get one.
Well, that's, if 2 hearts is forcing, then of course that's quite a strong move on those north values. Knows the 8. It's a question of whether it's better to double first, showing hearts.
But it is not non-forcing, David.
Non-forcing, yeah. Well, they have to double first, do they? Gosh, I've never liked that method.
Yeah, negative free bids. Don't like them much myself. But
No. So they play high-low doubles. So he will have to double first, which is either the minors or a stronger hand with hearts, for instance, or a long minor.
Yeah, well, no method's perfect, and they're happy. That gives them the best mix, and that depends to some extent on what one diamond shows, so not a bad method.
Extremely lucky that 4 hearts can actually make king, queen, doubleton clubs. So you only have 1 club looser, a diamond looser, and a spade looser. And they bid it in the other room.
a huge swing to Poland. Just this 3 spade contract. What a dummy he's put down. The jack of spades, the queen 10 of diamonds. You can get a rough though.
Yes, but that's poor compensation. 100, and they're taking 620 in the other room for a loss of 11.
Well, perhaps they bid 2 hearts when it was forcing.
The defense was good against 3 spades here, of course.
Very good, yeah.
Wow, what hands we're getting. Remember North solid clubs earlier when he bid 6 clubs, didn't make it. Now look at the West hand.
Look forward to seeing his scientific route on that hand.
Yeah, right. The no game makes for West, yeah.
Well, the big question is there a player on the planet who wouldn't bid 5 diamonds?
Bill, maybe? He needs more.
Well, do the math, Roland. I would bid 5 diamonds. That looks like 8 winners to me.
You're right. These colors. But are you really saying that you would only bid 4 if you had been vulnerable?
Sure. I'm really saying it.
Well, I'm told cheap save. What do you suggest North-South play? 4 hearts?
Yeah, 4 hearts is pretty interesting because it potentially starts ace of diamonds diamond, promoting a trump trick for the opponents, and then somehow declarer has to avoid losing 2 club tricks.
Yeah.
Well, I think North might bid 4 hearts over 4 diamonds. Would you be happy to let that play? I mean, with a 9-card suit, I don't see the normal rules about how many tricks you should have apply, really. Got to compare what you're going to make if you choose trumps to what you're likely to make if you don't.
Well, I would be down 500 and 5 diamonds doubled, vulnerable. So yeah, sure, I'm prepared to let it play. Absolutely. This is going 2 down, isn't it?
If they find the spade ruff, it will. If they don't, it'll only go 1 down.
It's just with a 9-card suit, it's quite likely you've got 9 tricks in your own hand.
Yes, your point being that when the suit's that long, the missing king of diamonds might not be a loser.
Well, I mean, your partner may just have 1 ace, and that gives you, I don't know, if it's the ace of clubs, that wouldn't be any good, but just give him the ace of spades. If the diamonds are coming in, then you just got to finesse for a game. Well, anyway, it just seems... Why do you think I said, would anyone on the planet not bid 5 diamonds? I just thought it was automatic on a 9-card suit. Right.
I think it's automatic when you're not vulnerable. I think when you're vulnerable, it's debatable.
In 4 hearts, you may be able to make it. You can eliminate spades and then play east in clubs. I think so. Even after ace of diamonds, diamond.
Yes, I think so too, Roland. I think you can do it. In fact, one easy way... Did you say end play east? I think you can actually end play west as well.
You can, yes.
Right. Well, sorry to say, I'm going to switch over to watch the end of England-Netherlands bronze medal match because England have just cheered me up with a 10-inch swing, and I'd like to see the end of that. So I'll leave you for the moment and maybe come back if their play is quicker than here. Bye for now.
Bye, David. Poland in 4 hearts on 11 in the other room, so West didn't bid 5 diamonds, apparently.
that is not only not bidding 5 diamonds, which I think was a mistake, not vulnerable, come back David, and then the 3 of diamonds, should that have suit preference implications? If you'd wanted a spade ruff, should you lead something like the 8 or the 10?
I think you should. Surely, when you underlead your long suit, there's a suit preference in it in case the partner gets in. And he did lead his lowest diamond, which I believe was the 3, was it? But he did.
Well, I think that was pretty bad by East, because sure, he can see 10 spades and only 9 clubs, but I think you've got to trust the opening lead here.
Yes, you must trust your partner. If he's voiding spades rather than clubs, you can ask him afterwards, why did you lead the 3 of diamonds?
Well, we'll wait for it to come on the movie and check that out. But frankly, Sweden have had a disaster set here, really. If you look at it, a possible slam where the declarer apparently just tried to minimise the non-vulnerable under tricks, and then this board.
Yeah, now we can have a look at it. So West let out a spade, I see.
All right, that's not so bad. I mean, it didn't work, but it's a perfectly legitimate lead. And now the hand's just easy. In fact, declarer made an over trick on the squeeze or the end play, whatever pressure East came under in the black suits.
No. Declarer won the ace and dummy and played a diamond himself.
Oh, so they could have cross-ruffed.
Now they could have cross-ruffed. There you go. But now it was difficult for East. Should he play his partner for the singles of queen of spades or for a club?
No. Same discussion, just transplanted by a trick. West played the 3 of diamonds on the king. Please partner a club.
Exactly, he would have played the queen of diamonds if he had no more spades.
Well, I said at the beginning of this match that the players were going to get very tired, that it had been a brutal event with brutally close semi-finals, and I think that's what happened there. I think that was just a tired play. Partner led the queen of spades, you've got 6, dummy's got 4, you immediately think to yourself, aha, he's led a singleton here, I'll give him a ruff.
Quite interesting. It's the same problem. I mean, if West had led the 3 of diamonds, then I think East would have returned, switched to a club. But it's no different now. I mean, I agree with you, Bill. 4, king, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's the failure to reset. I know about this error because I make it so often myself. You're defending a hand along, or playing a hand along.
In the transnationals, some consolation for Zimmermann. They're playing the semi-finals now, and he is up by 100 imps. The second segment of 3. So I expect the opponents to concede before the last. Same happened to Germany actually in the quarterfinals yesterday. They didn't play the last set. They were 106 behind.
So who's the other finalist going to be, Roland?
Well, it's pretty close in the other semi-final between Askov from Denmark against Bulgaria Open. The Askov team is Askov Kono from the Danish Open team, playing with Howard Weinstein and Adam Wildavsky from USA. The next set will include the transnational semi-finals, I'm told. That will only be one match, surely, because YBM is going to concede, no doubt about it. The YBM is the Ye team, basically, with an Israeli pair on it, Friedlander and Liron, or Liran rather. Who is Zimmermann's new pair? I'm asked. No new pair. They're playing four-handed. Zimmermann Mouton and Helnes Helgemo. Well, there might be Martens, Christoph Martens from Poland, may be on the team. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe we have Martens and Bissis, Thomas Bissis. I will check it.
Well, what's the fate of this contract? I think perhaps it needs a diamond rough to beat it. May not be entirely easy to find, but South has got a couple of chances to do so.
Yeah, we had Zimmerman Multong now playing with Helnes Helgemo. We can't see the first set actually because we have no names for the Zimmerman team. But yes, I was right about Martins Thomas Bessis, and we've seen Multong play with Martins. I'm not sure about Bessis. Maybe he played the first set today. We can't see it. We can only see the other team.
I think that's a good play from Nystrom. He wants to check out whether perhaps the spades are going to be worth a trick. He's got the tempo on his side. He can find a diamond rough later. He's still got the ace of trumps. So with some confidence, I think that they're going to beat this now. And now I think they'll definitely beat it. That's marked the ace of diamonds with North.
Yes, but you still don't have to take the rough now. Perhaps.
No, he's still got his ace of hearts. He can fuff around with some other black suits here, but I think eventually he's going to get around to playing his diamond back.
Well, David can come back. The England ladies are up by 30 with 3 boards to go. Surely they can't lose them. Can you try speaking into the mic? But North may give him a rough for down 1. But I think you're right that they can perhaps go 2 down if they just force the dummy with a spade.
Yes, dummy is end played in an ugly way. He can concede the club rough, diamond rough. He can give up on the club finesse, or he can play it of the last trump, and now there is another spade loser. And it could go 2 down there, but probably wouldn't, because I doubt that Nystrom would underlead the Queen of Spades, which is a setting trick. But if he did, he could eventually get his diamond ruff as well, his long-lost diamond ruff.
Now that would be cute, wouldn't it? 7 of spades, ruffed. What is declarer going to do? He plays a heart, ace, under lead of the spade, and a diamond ruff. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think so either. So, and if Norse plays the 9 of spades, then Nystrom will have to unblock the queen.
Right, so the 5 can go to the 7. That's even less likely to happen.
Yeah. Well, here we have the 9 at least. Will Nystrom play the queen? That was too tough. So now he... Oh. Now he can't get his diamond ruff. And he doesn't get a spade trick either. This contract is making now. Yeah.
So tired.
Yeah.
I think Poland is winning the stamina stakes here. That was just a tiredness defence. I'm sure he must have got the counts in the spades and known that his queen was high. And that should have happened right back at the start when he played a spade and declarer won the ace. Surely North gives a count signal.
Oh, it was 1 down. He did cash his spade. For down 1. Yeah.
So it was a tiredness problem, but it was the operator's tiredness.
Yeah. It's too tough to unblock the queen of spades. maybe North should have returned the 7.
I apologise.
So, David, did you win a bronze medal?
No,
You did.
I didn't, but the England ladies did. Yeah, they had a pretty good set. They made 6 clubs on board 9, but they got a swing for it.
Now, David, I'd like you to go to the movie and board 11 and check out the auction and the play, but most importantly the auction in the closed room.
No, mate, it's not working for me. Something's gone wrong. It's showing the West bid. That can't be right. West bid 4 diamonds, it says.
And they missed the defense against 4 hearts, as you will have noticed. East should really have defeated the contract.
Yes. Well, that's always the risk if you just bid 4, let a game through. So you've been waiting for me to get back, have you, Bill?
I
Just to say
have,
that.
David. I've been itching. Where is he? Where is he? Come back, come back.
That has very neatly answered my question. Is there anyone on the planet who wouldn't bid 5 diamonds? Yes, there is.
Yes.
And he is Swedish.
Johan Sylvan.
So the next question is there anyone who's not Swedish, not Australian, and wouldn't bid 5 diamonds?
I want to repeat, I would have bid 5 diamonds, but not vulnerable. Not if I had been vulnerable.
Having gone over there to look at that hand, I now see what a fabulous card the Poland North-South have. How proudly they will march back to compare scores with that list of plus scores. Just a 460 and a 450 in the minus column.
Yeah, what a buzz it'll be for them. And it's not just that they've had all the cards.
Oh, South open 2 diamonds, yes, and North bid 2 spades, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have thought double was perhaps sounder. Is that the point you're looking for, David?
No, not really. No, I mean, she doesn't know at that stage, does she, what suit is on her left?
Well, I think she does. I mean, 2 spades presumably shows some sort of heart support, and she's sitting there with ace king and another heart. Bit hard to expect South to also have hearts. So, looks to me to be 10 to 1 on that South has spades. In which case, I think you should make a take-out double of the bid that's in front of you.
Nicholas Smith didn't expect partner to have ace-1 of spades for the 2 spade bid, so she led a heart. That cost 1 trick.
Right. So last board coming up now. Then a break for about 50 minutes, which may be 40, of course, after they finish.
Yes, well the Swedish ace did the same thing, David. 2 diamonds past 2 spades, 2 no trumps.